Google says the deepest point on earth is in the Mariana Trench. Right behind it, it's Auburn's defensive line.
You are Locked On Auburn, your daily podcast on the Auburn Tigers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Yes, welcome on into Locked On Auburn, your daily Auburn Tigers podcast. I'm your host, Zac Blackerby, and thank you so much for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. Happy Charlie Tuesday to all who celebrate. We're joined by Auburn message board legend, the Charlie 5, also known as Kyle Rush. You can find him over the barn, auburn.com, as well as his show, The Top Button Podcast. We'll talk about what else Auburn needs to do from a roster management standpoint this offseason, this portal window. We'll talk about Caleb Wheatland. The more I think about his addition, the more I like it for different reasons. But let's start with Auburn's defensive line. We got Jay Hardy over the weekend. Sure. Monday, the fun kept happening. James Ash, this was like the worst kept secret in the world. I expect him to commit over the weekend. But James Ash, the FAMU, Florida A&M defensive lineman, makes his commitment public, Kyle, and Auburn's defensive line keeps getting deeper.
You added two guys in the perfect spot. You didn't need starters. You just needed some guys just so you could let some of the younger guys acclimate. I mean, as hard as it is to convince somebody to come play as a backup role, I think Auburn did about as good as you could possibly do in this spring period. I like the size of James Ash. I obviously like the production, not the production, but the playing time and the snaps that Jay Hardy has gotten. He had a good year in 2023, battled some injuries last year. I just think it's the perfect addition. You got a bunch of guys now, some good size that can play. Yeah,
James Ash, Jay Hardy, I think that they both can play the 3. I think Ash can scoot outside to play end if you need him to in certain situations. I think Hardy can scoot down to nose. He has the size to do it. Hasn't done it a ton, but I think he has the skill set to do it. So they add depth at multiple spots. But we've talked about this with Auburn basketball, right? Bruce Pearl's adding all these guys who could do multiple things. Vontrell King Williams, Auburn's defensive line coach, is kind of doing the same thing. And you look at what he already had. I mean, Bobby is going to be your nose or whatever, but with these freshmen, like I think Malik Autry can do different things. Malik Blockton can do different things. Keldrick Falk can do different things. Amaris Williams can do different things. So all of a sudden, you got all these guys who most of them you feel okay at an SEC level, putting them at multiple spots on the defensive line. All of a sudden, the depth thing, to me, it's done. Like, I'm fine with it. I am 100% fine with the current state of the defensive line, not only for this season, but also for the future of the program. It's a great balance.
It really is, because these two guys will be gone after the season, and your younger guys get to slide right in and go from here. I'm still a little bit concerned. I don't want to say concerned. I'm curious to see what they do at nose. I love Bobby Travis. He just doesn't seem like a nose to me. He seems more like a 4-3 defensive tackle, and I've heard some rumblings there could be some more 4-man front where you kind of split the tackles out instead of having that true nose. I honestly think the personnel may fit that a little bit better. I'm just curious to see. I'm curious to see how the whole, I guess, alignment, snaps, and all that works out, because I just don't know that we have that one dominant true nose tackle. I think I want to see how it plays out.
I think Bobby is underrated. Sure. I do think he's underrated. Would he be better as a 4-3 nose? I'm not going to argue that. Yeah. I'm not going to argue that at all. I guess what I would push back on, and I agree with you, but just for the sake of conversation, like, it's been a minute since Auburn's had a dominant nose, and they've still had solid defensive fronts and solid front sevens and solid defenses. I think the depth around it will allow Bobby or whoever's at nose, because I think Jordan Crawford will get reps. Dallas Walker is certainly a piece of this puzzle. I don't know. Like, I'm just not worried about it. I think
it's cheating Bobby a little bit, because I think Bobby is disruptive. I think he could be a interior pass rushing threat. And I just feel like him just asking him to sort of eat up space and create, absorb some gaps and things like that. I don't know.
I had this conversation with 3 different people yesterday, and they all brought it up. I wasn't trying to bring it up, but I think it's interesting that it keeps coming up. So when you look at interior defensive linemen snaps played for Auburn last year, who do you know who led in snaps last year?
Just in general or at nose?
Interior defensive line. So not Keldrick.
Gosh, probably I would think off the top of my head, I would think Isaiah Rakes. I'm probably wrong, but that's what I would think.
Isaiah Rakes had 319. Bobby had 321. So, I mean, you were really close in the grand scheme of the seat, like only having 2 off. It's pretty crazy.
And he was playing nose the whole time?
I'm assuming so, but let's check. Let's fact check this and be correct on it.
I may be way off. To me, he's just so quick. He's got a really quick first step and he's disruptive. He reminds me of some of those Tommy Tuberville defensive tackles to me. Like that's kind of what
136 of them were at nose.
Yeah.
More of that was at the first half of the season. And then he played some 3 technique. He played 58 snaps. Split up from left and right. So he played a little over 100 snaps with the 3 technique.
And to me, I could be way wrong, but that to me just seems like the more natural position for him. But these guys, Durkin knows way, way more than me, but it just feels like the defensive personnel fits more of that alignment than it does a 3-4, because I just don't know. Dallas Walker, it seems like Bobby jumped him immediately, so maybe he's not quite.
I don't know if Dallas was ever ahead of him.
The dominant
Vontrell loves Bobby.
He does. I love Bobby. And again, don't get it twisted. This is not saying that I don't think he can play that position. I just think he can be more dominant if it's more of a, I want you to get after the quarterback from the interior. I want you to be disruptive, that type of position.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think a 4-3 front would help. I think it helped Keldrick too, honestly. So
yes. Get him out on the edge a little bit.
Think it helped Kieran. I don't know.
And I've heard them talk about there are some 4-man front alignments they've been working on. So I don't know that it's going to be a full sale. That's what they go with, but
might be a game plan thing.
Yeah.
You might switch it from time to time. Maybe, when you go a little more short yardage, maybe you switch to that.
If you're uncomfortable a little bit with your line, when I say uncomfortable with your linebacker room, you're just not totally comfortable with the experience back there at linebacker. Yes. It makes more sense too, where, you're not just sucking up blocks and then expecting the linebackers to go make the plays. You kind of have you're disruptive up front, and then the linebackers can clean it up. I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah. So James Ash, Jay Hardy, I think they add some awesome depth, because now you can look at all these spots, regardless if it's a 3-man front or a 4-man front, and you like 2 or 3 names at every single spot now, which is where we needed to be. I think it's great.
100%.
I think it's great. I still think some folks are missing it. And I want to touch on that, and specifically Caleb Wheatland, next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Game Time. Can you imagine going to an event and you're going to buy tickets and being stressed out about the ticket purchasing process?
I'm never stressed about it.
No, it's supposed to be fun, and Game Time gets it.
It's so
Game
fun.
Time has you covered. Makes it fast and easy to get tickets, whether it's to the NBA playoffs, whether it's to the Atlanta Braves, which I'm sure ticket prices are a little more down than they typically are for the Braves. Maybe this is the time to go see them. Game Time has you covered. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed. Kyle Rush, also known as Charlie 5, hanging out with us on this Charlie Tuesday. I posted a video of me just reacting to Caleb Wheatland on social media. And I mean, I said this on the Friday show, kind of had an extensive list of like specifically what I wanted at linebacker.
It's crazy.
I wanted 1 year left of eligibility. I said 1,000 snaps. He had like 881, whatever. And I said P4 experience. And it's like,
and Will Redmond said, "You got it, Zac."
He's
Blackerby.
like, okay, sure. Zac, your show's great. The guy who comes on Tuesdays kicked me out of my gymnastic ticket, my gymnastic seats.
But I'm still going to get you your linebacker.
But you know what? Like, that makes a ton of sense. We'll convince a guy who has a ton of experience to come be a role player. Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
We'll flex on it a little
bit. Which is
bit.
great. But there's still like some folks, and I think it's larger than I would like to admit, if I'm being 100% honest with you, and argue with me in the comments, because like I am willing to be wrong here. I wanted to screenshot this and make a graphic out of it, but the person cusses in this tweet. So I'm gonna read through it, and I'm gonna edit on the fly here.
I like it.
Why are some people so obsessed with experience? They have experience in quotes. I'm sorry, but didn't many true freshmen play over experienced juniors and seniors last year? Whatever experience, give me talent and ball players. Okay. You need both. You need both. And like, look, if the young guys, if DJ Barber is better than Caleb Wheatland, DJ Barber is going to play more than him.
True.
If JJ Falk comes in and he's better than Caleb Wheatland, who's going to get more snaps next year? JJ is.
Well, a quick response to that tweet is, yes, the talent, the younger talent played last year over some experience, but it wasn't like there wasn't experience. That we had the experience on the roster. They just beat it out. So like it's important. It's important. It's not like you can just go all in. And for the most part, this guy will be the only one that's got the experience in that linebacker room. So it's like you got a whole bunch of young guns and one guy that's played almost 1,000 snaps. So I don't think anybody's saying only play experience over over youth. I mean, I guess heck, you don't have experience until you get experience. So I'm all for playing.
You needed a senior in the room. Would you have rather gotten a senior who's never played? Would you rather get a true freshman or like a true sophomore or maybe a redshirt freshman in the portal that had a ton of question marks? No, you've already got that class filled. Why? Like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Like, why would you do anything that upsets your young guys? Jaron Thompson led Auburn's defense in snaps last year. Then it was Kayan Lee, who's still underappreciated. And then the third was Dorian Mayusi. He had 619. And it's like, you needed those guys last year.
100%.
You needed those guys to bring on the guys that were behind them.
For sure.
Whether it was DeMarcus Riddick at linebacker, whether it was Caleb Harris at safety, Kayan Lee with Jay Crawford on the others. Like, you needed those guys. So, and that's not the only response I've seen like that. It's like, this isn't some either or world.
It's not binary anymore. Like, you got to have these guys.
And let's get young, talented guys with ridiculous upside and guys who have experience at the P4 level. Like, well, why would you be upset or push back on this at all?
I've seen it. It's like a mindset that it's a slight. It's a slight to these younger guys that you have on the team. And I guess you're worried you're going to lose them by bringing in someone else. I mean, that's the mindset. It's always, oh man, why can't we just go with this guy that we brought in from high school? Like, it's almost like it's a loyalty thing, but there is no loyalty like anymore. Like, you got to go. I just don't think that's really a thing that much anymore. You kind of just got to go figure out what fills out the depth chart the best. This linebacker room needed some more snaps, more snap experience added to it. And you just mentioned one of the dudes last year that was one of the more experienced linebackers in the whole country came in and he played almost the most snaps on the whole team.
Right.
Same thing with Jaron Thompson. So you mix and match. Like, you got experience and then you got youth. Experience and youth. You can't just have all youth. Or you're gonna, experience probably some growing pains. And this is just not a time, not a season.
This is a win now year.
Yeah, this is not a season where you want to just roll through some growing pains.
Yeah, I mean, just the the guys you lost, Dorian Maiusi, Eugene Asante, Austin Keys, they all played so much. And sure, you brought in some awesome freshmen, Elijah Melendez, JJ Falk, Bryce Diaz. Like you brought in some dudes, and DeMarcus Riddick outperformed what we all thought he could, and we all had pretty high expectations. He somehow blew him out of the water last year. But the only guy you replaced portal-wise was Xavier Atkins, who has very little. I mean, there's your talent. There's your upside, right? Like, this staff has done an incredible job at managing the roster and getting talent and experience. So I don't know. I've seen a shocking amount of that, and I knew it was coming. I knew people were going to be like, we're getting guys from Liberty. We're getting guys from Maryland. Like, I don't know. I knew it was coming. I should have braced myself for it a little bit more.
What do? You just don't carry all the scholarships that you have. You just say, hey, we're just going to, you know what? We don't want to add experience. We don't want to add any more bodies to the roster.
Great question.
We're just going to roll with it with 65 guys. Let's just roll the dice.
Or in this case, you want talent, right? Which, by the way, having experience doesn't, like, I don't know, like Maryland's in the Big Ten. Like, he's playing against the Big Ten. Like, he's probably got some talent, right? I don't think it's a crazy thing to say. They beat us a few years ago. But to me, it's like, if you don't want experience, would you have rather just gotten a bunch of redshirt freshmen and true sophomores in the portal that had a ton of questions, that couldn't crack the rotation at their previous spot? Like, that's the alternative here. Or you don't add anybody, which is also ridiculous. So
yeah,
I don't know.
And then if you add someone that somewhat is, underwhelming or whatever, then you're going to be mad because you didn't add somebody good. Like, it's a cycle. He had 5 tackles against us, by the way. Five solo tackles and a sack.
What's that ratio you call it?
Oh, the tackle to solo to assist ratio. 5. You talking about 5 to 1? That's
5 smackaroonies to 1.
You can't beat that. 0 assists. This guy does not jump on piles. He just makes tackles.
That's right. One-on-one, sure. Pile, it's a team player. I'll let
get me away from the pile. I want one-on-one.
So yeah,
that's going to become an NFL stat to watch. I'm just telling you that the solo tackle to assisted tackle ratio. It's got to be 1 or above.
The Charlie 5 ratio.
There you go.
Yeah. Who's next? What else do we need? That's next, right here on Locked On Auburn. Today's show brought to you by our friends at Prize Picks. Baseball's in full swing, and there's no better way to get in on the action with Prize Picks, the best place for daily fantasy sports. Kyle, you know a lot about sports. If you're listening to the show, you know a lot about sports. Put that knowledge to the test with Prize Picks. With Prize Picks, you pick more or less on at least 2 player projections, and if you're right, you can win up to 1,000 times your cash, whether it's strikeouts, RBIs, first inning runs. Prize Picks keeps every game exciting. Download the app today. Use code LOCKEDONCollege to get $50 instantly. After you play your first $5 lineup, that is code LOCKEDONCollege, all one word, LOCKEDONCollege, for $50 instantly. After you play your first $5 lineup, Prize Picks, run your game. What is next? Who is next? Thank you for making Locked On Auburn your first listen every single day. What other position are we looking at? Auburn's hosting a corner, which I still am scratching my head on. And then I'll take them. I'll take all the corners in the world. I just don't know why you would come here. I'm just going to be 100% honest.
That's why you're scratching your head. Not that Auburn would take him. That why would you come to Auburn?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'll take another experienced corner. I don't think the guy that they're looking at from Tulane is better than the top 4 or 5. Like, I'd rather give those reps to Blake Woodby, if I'm just going to be 100% honest with you, and Donovan Starr. But whatever. I'll take him on the team. Sure. The only other one that I'm really looking at, because it doesn't seem like Auburn's interested in any of like positions you would think on offense, like they really seem to be good there, is pass rusher. I mean, Hugh Freeze mentioned pass rusher specifically in the 8A presser. I can't imagine he was referring to James Ash, Jay Hardy, or Caleb Wheatland when he was referring to pass rusher. I don't think so. Like, go ahead.
I got a theory there. I think that he probably thought we may have lost one of our pass rushers.
That's interesting.
I think that he may, and I don't want to speculate on who that is, but I think he may. And there were some rumors that maybe we've lost one of our younger guys. We could lose one of our younger guys. I think he almost signified who all the position groups of players we might have lost, or that we or needed some players, but it seemed like that was kind of the route he was going. And I don't think we ended up losing that guy. So I'm not sure that there is a need for a true pass rusher anymore. I could be way wrong.
I think that makes a ton of sense. And I'm embarrassed that I hadn't thought of that.
Wide receiver too. I think there were times where he talked about wide receiver, and like, I'm pretty shocked, I guess, just the way football is today, that you didn't lose, a wide receiver in a group that's, like 6 deep, and one guy thinking, hey, I could be a starter somewhere else. Like he did kind of, maybe gloss over that you could be looking at a wide receiver. I think maybe he was trying to maybe just preemptively thinking of position groups that you could have lost a player from.
Yeah. I mean, all of these edge guys, they're not all going to have a role this year. They're just not. And same with these receivers. Like, it stinks. And we've had the conversation, like, how many relevant receivers are there going to be in this offense? And while Auburn has 6 guys we all believe in, I mean, it's hard to have 6 relevant receivers in any offense, let alone, what we're expecting to see this year. So I think that's a great point, Kyle. I think it's a really, really good point. And hats off to the staff. I mean, once again, the outside noise all throughout the season was, enjoy that recruiting class while you've got it. Enjoy all that young talent while you got it. And Auburn's held on to all of it. I mean, it's been incredible. This staff, whether it's relationships, whether it's NIL, whether it's, just selling the future of what this program could be, I don't know what it is. And for some guys, it's probably more of one of those things than the other, but it's certainly a combination of those things. I mean, we say it all the time, but like, I still think we kind of take it for granted. Like, it's been incredible. Like, with what we've seen all throughout college football, Auburn's retention rate is up there with the Ohio States and the Georgias and the Alabamas.
I would put it above. I'd put it above. I mean, heck, Georgia just lost their starting quarterback. Like, Auburn's not lost anyone close to that caliber yet, knock on wood. Like, I haven't really had any major loss. What's the biggest loss that you can think of?
Yeah, I was about to ask you, in the last year, what's the biggest loss?
I mean, I think in the Hugh Freeze era, I think Braden Joyner is probably the biggest loss you've had, to be completely honest. I can't really think of.
There's no way. Let me think on that for a second.
Think about it. I mean, I've done
Braden Joyner, our biggest portal loss.
I've done it.
I think Tyler Scott's a bigger loss than Braden Joyner.
Tyler Scott's never played. Braden Joyner started 6 games last year.
That's a good argument. I mean, I think the upside that Scott has is better.
That's fair. But
sure. I mean, I think Scott's path to playing time at corner was significantly tougher than Joyner's at, interior offensive lineman.
Unless you want to argue, TJ Lindsey, I think could have been could eventually become, viewed as a pretty big loss.
That was definitely the most surprising to me, TJ Lindsey.
Yeah. I mean, say what you want about, one of the quarterbacks, Hank or Walker White, but I mean, as far as like somebody that's had experience, I mean, I'm telling you, Braden Joyner's it. He started 4 or 5 games towards the end of the year last year.
Yeah, like, I love Camden Brown as a human, but like, not a huge loss on the field, right? I mean, especially with what Auburn had. Like, he'd be the 7th receiver in this room.
Yeah, Colton Hood's another one that I would consider a fairly big loss. I think he played a pretty good bit at Colorado last year.
Okay. Sure.
But I mean, if you really go through it, that's pretty much it, man.
Yeah. I mean, we're really grasping at straws here, which proves the point. Like, Mike O'Reilly's interesting. Like, the upside was there in this tight end room. Would he have had a role? Like, I think so. I think he would have.
He made a bad move.
Where did he end up? A&M?
Nebraska, I think. Right?
Nebraska. I'm not sure. Once you leave, I don't really follow you. Unless you're Dylan Gentry. Jack State, baby.
The icon.
I'm stoked for him. Good for him. Good for him.
He's going to light it up.
I hope so. I'm pulling for him. That'd be awesome. Where
did he go? Where did Micah go? No, he went to A&M. You're right. I think, and that's, he would have been, I think he'd have been the guy this year. I don't really get that move. But so maybe you could say Micah Riley.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you go out and get Brandon Frazier if you keep Micah Riley.
It's a good point. It's a good point. But
I don't know. But
as far as production goes, Braden Joyner's it.
Yeah, I guess that's a solid argument. Solid argument.
And that's crazy to think about.
It's crazy to think about. That is crazy.
Especially with the record that you've had. I mean, and you got to think
that's it.
Calling.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the top schools, the Oregons, the Ohio States, like their retention's solid, but it's like they're competing for national championships.
Yeah.
It's like, like let's get a winning record, please.
Tennessee just played in the playoffs, lost their quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck? We went 5-7 and didn't lose anybody. We lost the 6th or 7th offensive lineman off the bench. It's crazy.
That is insane.
It's insane.
Yeah, who do you think is the biggest loss in the
the Hugh Freeze era of the Hugh Freeze era?
Yeah, don't say Bo Nix. Don't say Bo Nix. Like of the Hugh Freeze era.
I'm embarrassed. I kind of forgot about Bo. I completely forgot about Bo. Yeah, I know. That's bad. When I was doing this exercise, totally forgot about Bo, and he's the obvious answer.
Well, I mean, we said the last 12 months or the Hugh Freeze era. So that was Harsin, which how about Cal, huh? That Cal offense, who's going to play?
They have nobody. They lost 5 running backs.
Who saw this coming?
Oh, man. I'm sure it's Auburn's fault. Somehow it's Auburn's fault. It's Auburn donors' fault is what it is.
Because Auburn tainted his reputation and none of his running backs want to play
We
for him.
meddled the Auburn alumni medal and got Cal's folks to go, all of them go in the portal. It just happened to only be offense.
Yeah, I mean, Auburn's boosters in Berkeley, like, goodness gracious.
They're
what
like this. They're like this.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Kyle, how can people check out everything you've got going on?
Absolutely. Follow me on Twitter, _Charlie_5. Go to thebarnauburn.com. Save $25 off your annual membership. Subscribe to the Barn Auburn YouTube page. We've got content dropping multiple times a day.
Yeah.
7 days a week, it seems like.
Awesome.
So all kind of stuff going on over there.
It's awesome. It's so great. Please like the video. Please subscribe if you're tuned in on audio. Make sure you're subscribed and please leave us a review. Helps the show out a ton. We'll see you next time. This has been Locked On Auburn.